The one thing that really stuck out to me today in not as well reported news is that Laura Ingalls Wilder's name is getting taken off some children's literature award, I guess. And while I can see both sides of the argument about whether it is fair to do so, I would like to touch on that briefly. As someone who read the books multiple times, learned how to read chapter books by reading those books, I would say that it's a step in the right direction, not recognizing people who promoted racist or stereotypical mindsets about people of color, because those books do promote that, as well as promote white people being the most important people. I don't want to say white supremacy because I think that's a bit extreme, but it definitely is like the typical and pretty truthful mindset based on the groups of people who called themselves pioneers. The majority of them were white and considered themselves to be better than Native Americans or Black people. With that being said, a lot of them were immigrants. A good number of them were poor and thought that this was the only way that they could make their way in the world. And the way that they went about it was not ethical or humane a lot of times, because they were taking things that didn't belong to them. But I think it's easy to lose sight of the fact that an entire generation of children, actually multiple generations of children, learned about pioneer life through those books. And I'm seeing some arguments about how kids are smart and discerning and can be taught how to pick out the things that aren't necessarily accurate in those books. And I agree with that. I think they are. Because I know I could tell the difference. And although there were parts of me that didn't see a problem with certain elements of those books, and I had to learn later in life what was wrong with those elements, I would say that was more to do with how I was raised and how history was taught to me in general, and less to do with me being gullible or impressionable. I think that's fair to say. So, am I upset that they're taking the name off the award? No. I think it's a dumb hill to die on. Do I think it's maybe not the best way to go about making things better? Yeah. But I feel like that's the only way anything gets changed these days, is not the best way. So, with that all in mind, the world's a mess. It always is. And there's a car alarm. So I'll talk to you tomorrow.